Hey everybody, just getting started here. Welcome again to Friday afternoon tastings out here in Walla Walla. It's a beautiful day today again. It's kind of been some rough weather around here. Kind of some, hey Christy, my cousin Christy. Turbulent weather here, lots of rain right now. It's nice to get some sun, but we've had some good natural rain, so there's a little bit of what they call pressure in the vineyard for wanting to make sure we spray enough. So we're going to be doing a lot of spraying coming up. All organic stuff like that, just perfect for the vines. No herbicides, pesticides, anything like that. But so I'm Matt Reinvan, the winemaker, wine grower for Reinvan Family Vineyards. Like to see you guys coming on here. It should be a fun day. Waving to everybody. Thank you so much, you guys, for coming. So we're going to be focusing on the 2015 Foothills Reserve. This vineyard was planted in 2008, and we have been developing wines from here from the beginning. Our first vintage being 2010, and as we kind of started to understand the vineyard more and more, we ended up making two wines. One called In the Hills, and one was the Foothills Reserve, which is just a fantastic wine. And people kind of ask me, why is it the Reserve and whatnot? And honestly, it's when we get the process after they've been in barrel for a while, we start doing our tastings. I kind of really pick the individual barrels that fit. I kind of pick the best of the best for them, not to take away anything from In the Hills. There's just a particular style I like for this reserve, and I look for those barrels in the cellar. So it's a really fun wine. It's if you guys see it, it's our green label. So we have the dark green label is the Foothills Reserve, 2015 today. We made 275 cases of it, so we don't make very much of it, but so it looks like we have a question here. David D. Ruley has similar characters to Syrah from Côte Rôtie. Is that a statement? I agree with you. It does. It has that kind of old world character, old world funk going on. The vineyard up here is high elevation vineyard. It's adjacent to the winery. It's 1,600 feet elevation, we're able to get some really unique characteristics up here, and I think that when you look back to 2015, we had some damage in the Rocks vineyard, and it was difficult with the cold weather at the end of 14, getting the vines buried, so we had some damage down there, but Foothills was protected, and we were able to get a bigger crop than usual. Thank you for saying that, Ryan. Appreciate it. Beautiful property. We love it up here. It's it's our home base. It's where we live, and it's wonderful to see the vineyard keeping developing. And we just planted a new block of 5 acres that we call Pierce's block for my son. It was planted in the year he was born. So very exciting things coming forward. They'll probably be ready. Actually this year, if the weather keeps going the way it is, we'll be able to pick some fruit off of that. So we'll be able to up the production for the reserve and the In the Hills. So 2015 weather was coming off of 14. We thought, okay, that was a warm year. But 15 set all the records. It was incredibly hot, felt like throughout the whole year, but really peaked in June, July. We had like a 2-week heat wave, just these spikes that really throw a wreck in the way the vineyards, they shut down, and we have to kind of manage a lot of the canopy, make sure that we don't burn any, burn too much, and for spraying, for chemicals and different things we use, you have to be very careful. But in the end result, we were able to make some really great wines from it. I think the 15 Reserve when I was just tasting it a little bit ago, it reminded me, of the Hermitage San Joseph style, but it does have similarities to Côte Rôties. More of a Côte Rôtie that doesn't incorporate any Viognier, which some of them do, like Jamais does. So yeah, it was a really exciting wine. But if we want to get into it here, if you guys have some, grab the glass, start smelling here. Okay, so right off we get the dark cherry, dark raspberries, grapefruit incorporated here, but a lot of the nuanced secondary notes, lots of smoky beef, peppered beef. There's a good salinity in there, which you attribute more to kind of a different type of terroir. This is, up here is deep silty loam. We don't really have any of the rock characteristics that we do from in the rocks. So a lot of the aspects of this wine are, the other parts of terroir. The vine orientation, the wind patterns, the weather patterns up here. But the soil is very just kind of loamy, deep soil. So it does pick up certain characteristics. There's natural bit of pepper coming from here, which is just kind of in our terroir here. So, but really, really great wine so far. If you go in deeper to it, it's more got kind of like a olive tapenade characteristic, which is something that I really love to see in a Syrah. So 18 GURP says, any chance there could be a little reduction? My bottle doesn't have some. I apologize if there's a little bit. Give it a little shake, put it in a decanter. I did decant this, so hopefully that will blow off. But my bottle's not showing any reduction right now, but thank you for the question. One thing I noticed, this in 15, we got the amount of alcohol in here is a touch higher than we usually do. This was 14.2 alcohol, so that's a little richer style than the Foothills that we have going on up here. We usually are a little bit lower, a little more acid. This is not as didn't have as much natural acidity as some other years, so we don't get that kind of more linear characteristic, the more freshness to it, but it's got rich, round, it's very structured, there's lots of layers to it, lots of complexity going on. Yeah, I mean, it continues with the steak tartare characteristic. That pepper smoke keeps coming through. The fruit's there, but when I talk about wines and what I look for in wines are kind of the secondary things, not as much as the raspberry cherry aspect. It's more of the other things that I really like that picking up. So you get a little bit of a violet characteristic, which is nice. There is surprisingly some minerality to it, given that the soils aren't really rocky to it, but you pick up a nice minerality in it. Question from May15, did you pick the vineyard earlier than the previous years with the heat? See, if I remember right, we left a little bit more fruit through the heat wave in the canopy and came back and dropped a little fruit where it needed. But it was probably, a little bit earlier than typical. The entire year was earlier picking, and but there were some blocks that we were able to hang longer that get the phenolic ripeness. I think people had, back in 15, there was a lot of trouble with early ripening varieties. More people had trouble with Merlots. We had just planted the Merlot, so we didn't have to work with it during that. But for the Syrahs, I think we were able to get really nice balance in these wines, given the weather patterns and the situation. So it's you have to kind of do with what you got to make it however you can. Even in difficult years, and there's little tricks you can do, and you try to do your best out there in the vineyard. It makes it easier in the cellar. Let's see. Ryan Gilmore, did you make an MTR in 15? I will be cracking one of my 14 shiners this weekend. Nice. Unfortunately, I did not make an MTR in 2015 because of the damage that we had at the In the Rocks Vineyard, where I get the fruit for MTR. I wasn't able to make it. It all went into the Ryan Van Family Vineyard stuff. So, but I have a 16, so that will be coming out, in a year or so. Yeah, I look forward to you guys trying that, because 16 is a great year for MTR. When you think of food pairings with this, it's got a richness to it, but I think it's the acid in there isn't as it has in other Foothills Reserve. So maybe some sort of game with a little bit of some sort of acidic garnish that would really get the whole balance to the wine. A duck would be nice. Maybe it can pair with a lot, but I think the gamier stuff works really well with this. With these wines, they're just a nice cohesion together with them. So. Yeah, so good finish, good longevity to this wine, I think. It's not like some of the, maybe like a, 2003 or things like that, where it's the wine falls apart. This has a lot of great structure to it, so it's going to be in the cellar for a good time. I would say it's in a really good spot right now. So, but another 7+ years, it's it's just where I would say it's probably going to be at its really great spot. But right now it's tasting awesome. So looks like we have another question here. Okay, David again. Your Syrah drinks early in their lives. So hard not to drink. I like aged wine. How long will this age? Oh well, I'm sorry, I just popped up late. But yeah, I'm always. This is not, we're not making the Bordeaux huge tannic wines, that need years and years of age. If you enjoy them, now, I really like our wines kind of after the 5-year mark. It's 5 to 7 years is really sweet, but they're also very, they're great from, early on. I mean, they're approachable early. I think it really just depends on, personal taste and what you like to do, but I think as we go along more and more, Syrahs, especially ones from the Foothills Vineyard, have a lot more natural acid, so it's going to be fun comparison to see, the aging potential of all of these. But all of our Foothills and our In the Rock stuff is holding up extremely well right now. We did the 08 last week, the contender, that was beautiful. So yeah, I think they're gonna last, but the question is how long you want to wait, and if you can wait. So yeah, that's the wine today. Really in a good spot. I think I think it's a wine that is so flexible in terms of I always love to make wines that I can actually drink, and it doesn't have to be paired with food. But this is a lot of somms around the country go to the Foothills Reserve or Foothills style because it's so. You're able to pair it with so many different things. So it's a really great wine for that too, but it's also good just to drink. So let's see, what do we have next week? Next week's gonna be fun. We got a little battle again here, doing 2017 In the Rocks versus the 2017 In the Hills. And we're gonna be co-hosting it with Dr. Owen Bargreen, who's a wonderful guy, great critic, and really is, it'll be a lot of fun for us to bounce off of each other. And so that'll be next week wines. And it's simple. You just come back on to our Ryan Van feed. You don't need to jump to his. They both pop up, and then you'll be able to see it. And we look forward to doing that. It'll be a lot of fun. So again, the 2017 In the Rocks versus the In the Hills tomorrow. So thank you, everybody. Great to see you. Hope you guys are all staying well. We wish you the best, and we look forward to tasting the wine next week. So take care. All right. Cheers.